Conor McGregor is a guy that comes off a 2-year layoff and comes right after the biggest, baddest monster in the sport. 26-0, undefeated.
Surprise, surprise, motherfucker! The king is back!
The notorious Conor McGregor, a once-in-a-lifetime personality who changed the world of mixed martial arts forever. Bursting onto the UFC scene with his brash confidence, quick wit, and even quicker left hand, McGregor quickly rose through the ranks, leaving a trail of defeated opponents and memorable sound bites in his wake at the same time. Today, we take a look at just a few of the instances of how his psychological warfare had cost fighters more than just a loss on their record.
Before we dive in, you can help us out a lot. If you find this video entertaining and valuable, do us a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're a small channel still trying to reach that 1,000 subscriber mark, and your sub would mean a lot to us. Now let's get on with it.
Number 1, Jose Aldo. Starting the list, McGregor had an uncanny ability to get under his opponent's skin, rattling their confidence before they even ever stepped into the octagon.
Say it like it is, you're blessed. You're blessed that I chose you. You're blessed that I chose to whoop your ass next.
Nowhere was this more evident than in McGregor's showdown with the Brazilian phenom, Jose Aldo. Before McGregor, Aldo was the undisputed king of the featherweight division, having defended his title 7 times. The King of Rio was a dominant champion who was the definition of fast-twitch muscle fibers. A victory against Aldo would solidify McGregor's place in the MMA history books, but it wasn't going to be easy. Aldo was an experienced technical fighter who'd been undefeated for a decade. Aldo was known for his calm demeanor, and he rarely engaged in trash talk before fights. However, the build-up to this fight with McGregor is different.
McGregor's coming for you. He'll do you in 2. Walking in McGregor.
McGregor's relentless taunts seemed to get under Aldo's skin, and he appeared more agitated than usual during pre-fight press conferences.
Little Brazilian. Ooh, vamos here.
The fight, which took place at UFC 194 in December 2015, was one of the most anticipated in UFC history. It was expected to be a tough, drawn-out battle. However, McGregor won the fight even before it started. Aldo, eager to dish out punishment against the smack-talking Irishman, charged straight at McGregor.
Smiling. Oh! She slapped him!
McGregor, with his signature left hand, delivered a punch that shocked the world just 13 seconds into the first round. Aldo was knocked out cold, marking the end of his 10-year undefeated streak. McGregor had not only predicted his victory, but the manner in which he'd win. His psychological warfare, combined with his uncanny striking, had paid off in a massive way.
He's a phenomenal champion. He was a phenomenal champion. We deserved to go a little bit longer, but I still feel at the end of the day, precision beats power.
After the fight, Aldo requested an immediate rematch, but it was not granted. The defeat seemed to affect Aldo's confidence in his subsequent fights, and while he did have some success, he was not able to recapture his former dominant form. Aldo remained a top competitor in the featherweight division, but he never quite looked the same as he did before facing McGregor. Number 2, Nate Diaz. And yet, McGregor's journey was far from over. The next chapter in the story would see him face a formidable opponent who seemingly couldn't care less what was said to him.
Fuck you, Bell. I don't give a fuck what you say, motherfucker. Yeah, thugging on mine, motherfucker. What you got?
Nate Diaz was already a legend in the UFC, having amassed a significant following due to his unapologetic, raw attitude.
He told me specifically, but he didn't really. We just trained hard. He says, go beat that motherfucker's ass. Don't be a bitch, you know?
Diaz, a seasoned veteran from Stockholm, California, had a reputation for his high-volume striking and black belt-level Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Leading up to the first fight, the trash talk was different. Diaz, unlike McGregor's previous opponents, was seemingly immune to McGregor's sharp tongue.
That's because he knows what's real. He knows this is the real
See, you know it's the real.
He matched McGregor's taunts with his own brand of indifference and bravado, unfazed by the verbal warfare. Diaz accepted the fight on just 11 days' notice when McGregor's original opponent, Rafael dos Anjos, pulled out due to injury. Despite the short notice, Diaz was confident, and his trash-talking exchanges with McGregor became legendary.
That shit.
Bring your training partners in. You're gonna need them.
My whole team will fucking beat your whole team's ass. How about that?
The fight was a major upset, Diaz submitting McGregor in the second round. This was McGregor's first loss in the UFC, and it ended his 15-fight win streak. To call the fight an upset was putting it lightly. Thankfully for Conor, Dana got his back and gave him an immediate rematch. In the next press conference, hard to believe, but even more exciting.
That's all right. Hey, Conor.
Conor, don't throw those.
McGregor was hell-bent on a redemption, while Diaz was ready to prove his victory was no fluke.
Always hard to kill. He already dead from the last time. This is a new guy. So killer can't be killed again. USA, motherfucker!
As you most likely know, the rematch proved to be one of the most memorable fights in UFC history. McGregor started strong, again knocking Diaz down 3 times in the first 2 rounds, but Diaz, the warrior, kept coming back. The fight went the distance, a brutal, bloody 5-round war. When the dust settled, McGregor was awarded the majority decision victory. Diaz looked like he was beaten like a heavy bag, while Conor didn't have a scratch on him. The Notorious even gave props to Nate after the fight.
And he's still in my face. And he's very good against the fences. He digs the head under the chin, opens up to the body. You're going to take a few smacks, so I just anticipated I would be in that position. I stayed calm.
Although Diaz lost, he remained a top draw in the UFC, his fights always attracting large audiences. The 2-fight series was tied at 1 apiece, and the fans were clamoring for a trilogy. But McGregor, having redeemed his loss, had his eyes set on a different prize, becoming the first fighter in UFC history to hold 2 titles in 2 different weight divisions simultaneously. Number 3, Eddie Alvarez. At the time, Eddie Alvarez was the reigning UFC lightweight champ. When he was scheduled to fight McGregor at UFC 205 in November 2016, Alvarez was a battle-hardened veteran of the sport, having fought some of the best competitors across several promotions. He mostly remained unfazed by McGregor's signature pre-match verbal jousting.
A fall. One of those elbows, one of those shots are going to dig into that soft, sweet spot into the temple, and that's all she wrote. 2-weight world champion.
Alvarez, though a formidable force in the Octagon, found himself on the back foot in these verbal exchanges. McGregor put on a mastermind technique while the mics were on.
I don't understand shit they say. They're from Ireland. I don't understand a goddamn thing they say. They don't even know their numbers. They say 13. I don't even know what that's.
The whole press conference could be cut into McGregor's sound bites with zinger after zinger after zinger thrown at Eddie.
My wife and kids.
Suck these big Irish balls. This is what confidence looks like. Serious. This is what big Irish balls look like.
The fight was historic, as it was the first time a UFC fighter, in this case McGregor, had the chance to hold 2 different division titles simultaneously. McGregor would dominate the vast majority of the first round, even managing to drop Eddie with the same combo that would win him his 2nd belt only a round later. And then there was that moment you've all seen a million times as it happened. McGregor dodged Eddie's right hand by a razor-thin line and then connected with a beautiful 1-2 that dropped Eddie. And so history was written. McGregor's victory marked a landmark moment in UFC, as he became the first fighter to simultaneously hold 2 division titles.
This chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
Post-fight, Alvarez admitted that he had deviated from the game plan and praised McGregor's accuracy and timing.
Not to box so much, not to throw so many hands. Kind of got lulled a bit in his game and paid for it.
Reclaiming the same heights in his career despite demonstrating an undying spirit and tenacity that drew respect from all the corners of the MMA community. Alvarez's trajectory underwent a shift. The loss to McGregor seemed to have left an indelible mark, stirring a change in his career. To his detractors, McGregor was a loudmouth, a brash showman who cared more about money than the sport. To his fans, he was a visionary, a trailblazer who single-handedly brought MMA into the mainstream. Regardless of which side of the fence you fall on, one thing is undeniable: Conor McGregor is an indelible part of MMA history. From his unforgettable knockouts to his infamous trash talk, McGregor has left a mark on the MMA landscape. For better or for worse, the sport will never be the same after it. Please don't forget to leave a like and share and subscribe for more. If you'd like a specific topic or fighter covered, please let us know and we'll do our best.